Michael Verne, yes. Alan Moore, the creator or co-creator of the piece that you're about to see, would love to have been here. He came to Fright Fest a few years ago with Showpieces, which is what this evolved from. But because of COVID and stuff like that, so he sent a video message which we can't play for you today because of projection issues, but it will be playing before the digital screening in the digital event, and we'll put it online and stuff like that. So, Mitch, who have you brought with you?
So I've brought a motley crew with me, so we are starting off over here. We've got Mr. Robert Goodman, who plays Mr. Matchbride. And we've got Siobhan Hewlett, who plays Faith. And then we have Candy Kisses, who plays Beryl. Beryl. Okay, then we have Bradley John, who is actually Elton Carnaby, funniest man in the film. And then we have Colleen Gowdy, who is my editor and long-time contributor, no collaborator. And then we have Darryl De Silva, who is James.
So, yes, Mitch, tell us how this came about. Give us a little bit of the genesis.
Oh my God. I did a photo shoot with Alan's beautiful but ill-fated Dodgem Logic. God knows how many years ago, and we've been working together on another project called Unearthing, that Lex Records and Tom Brown, who I've got to give a big thank you to, because he's the man who's really propelled this whole project. But Alan did this beautiful magazine. Like you said, it didn't really work out. I did a photo shoot for a piece they were doing with Melinda Gebbie on burlesque. I then popped round to see him and said, I want to do a show reel. Just go back and refilm it. And at that point, the fool said, let me write you a screenplay. The first ever one he'd done. And that's how it started, and that was the birth of the short films. And then once we'd finished the short films, the collection being Showpieces, it was like, we'd like to carry on with this story. So Alan foolishly then wrote a screenplay. And here we are, several years later. But without the goodwill and hard work of Lex, Tom Brown and Lex, and Emu Films, and indeed BFI and Lip Sync, we wouldn't be here. But those guys all dug deep and got the money for us to make the film. Altitude, so Altitude are our distributors, and Altitude.film. On the 18th of October, it then goes out to be streamed, and you'll be able to see it and tell all your friends, so people can start spending some money, and we can maybe get some money back. But yeah, so that's how it all came about.
And how is it collaborating with Mr. Moore?
It's brilliant, actually. I mean, the man is a legend. And the funny thing is, you go around and you'll have either a 1 cup of tea session or a 2 cup of tea session. And if you get to 4 cups of tea, then you know you're really onto something. And we've done many of those sessions. And I remember Alan saying to me not too long ago, we were driving through Northampton, and he said, Mitch, you are actually the best collaborator I've ever worked with. He said, because we just sit and get stoned. Well, you get stoned. I get really flaky after 1 puff. But anyway, we sit and get stoned, drink tea, and then it happens. Films happen, you know, this is amazing. And it's like, yeah, because I then spend the next 4 years up and down to London, sort of like trying to get the goodwill of people to actually make the film. So working with Alan is amazing. He's a true gentleman. And he would have loved to have been here today, but unfortunately, COVID, shielding, and I don't know if he's too stoned, whatever. Anyway, yeah, Alan's not here.
And what's next for you, and what's next with the show? Is it going to evolve again?
Well, I would love for it to evolve again. Alan has written the first episode of the TV show, and we've got a 5-series treatment, 5 seasons treatment already put together. Whether that actually happens, who knows? But I didn't necessarily think the feature film was going to happen after making the short, so you don't know. I'm just finishing off my second film, Prisoners of Paradise, which is it's a really good film, but yeah, there's a lot of politics behind it. But I'm nearly through that, and then I'm working with another writer on a really super cool spy thriller. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Good luck. And
Off
the road.
Off the road.
Pass the microphone.
Over to Colleen.
Thank you. What would you like to know? Okay, so I'm actually working with Mitch on Prisoners, and then I'm doing a short film which is being directed by Maxine Peake. I think my favourite Alan story is the fact that we used to take the cut round to Alan's house to show it to him, So we would literally put all the kit, including a 65-inch TV, wouldn't we, into the back of your car, drive round to Alan's house to screen it for him. And when we would leave, I would have to sit in my car and wait before I drove off, because the second-hand, what's it when you get second-hand smoke? Yeah. I was completely stoked, because just being in the same room as Alan, you inhale so much, as Bill Clinton would say, that I'd have to wait for it to wear off before I could drive home.
Hi, I'm Bradley. I'm currently waiting to go back to Only Fools and Horses, the musical. We start rehearsing. I know, right? We start rehearsals in a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. I actually just finished a couple of episodes on a new Sky series with Tom. I didn't get to see him there, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing us on screen. I play Elton.
I'm really boring. I signed an NDA, so I can't talk about it. But I'm going back to the world of burlesque and photography and flying for even and stuff. Like I said previously, you'd probably catch me in Morrison's more likely. I was 7 near the Baked Beans. I wish that's literally where I live. So, see me in Northampton.
I've got one. I'm working with Neil Gaiman at the moment. I've just adapted one of his short stories into a feature film, which I'm starring in, and yeah, which is all quite exciting and been quite stressful with COVID and everything, as we've all had. And then apart from that, I did a film playing a young Vanessa Redgrave and a grown-up Wendy in Peter Pan called The Lost Girls. And then I just shot a TV series in Malta. Apart from that, I'm basically just in Ireland surfing. Shut up, Daryl. Okay, over we go. Oh, you got
Is this working? Yeah. First of all, thanks very much for coming. It's great to see everybody. What have I been doing? Well, this is my 3rd or 4th thing I've worked with Alan. I've known him for about 30 years. His genius never seems to stop amazing me. But I've just made a short film of my own as well, which I'm proud to say got to be finalist in a film festival. It was just a short film called The Mongoose. And I'm about to start with HBO on a TV series called The Nevers, which is going to be very exciting. It's set in Victorian London. It's a bit of a science fiction thing. So I'm very excited about that. And it's Darryl.
Hi, thanks for coming. You're in for a really insane treat. You can next see me in Guy Ritchie's heavily postponed Wrath of Man, which God knows when that's going to come out. And then another film from Emu Films called Medusa Deluxe, which is all about a murder at a competitive hairdressing event. You'll enjoy that.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for coming, and thank you for coming. Please enjoy the show!